Join us for this month's Pike County News Update with OSU Extension.
Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Kristen. Good to see you again this month.
You too. How are things going this month?
Busy, but that's how we like it.
Absolutely. We have a lot of exciting things happening in our office, don't we?
Absolutely.
I wanted to cover some things that we have coming up this month and this week, and I would like to talk about it with you.
What, this be for March 2019?
Absolutely, it's for March. March 3rd through the 9th is Ohio 4-H Week, and during that time we try to recruit 4-H members, kids to join 4-H, which is the largest youth organization in the United States. And our deadline for the Pike County is March 15th. What that means is that you have to have a club by March 15th in order to be enrolled for this year's fair and to be eligible to take a project in the fair this year.
What does it mean to be enrolled in 4-H, Kristen?
Well, to be enrolled, first there's some eligibility criteria, and that eligibility is to be a clover bud, which they cannot sell a market animal or show a breeding animal at the fair, but they still can do a project. And that age requirement is they have to be 5 years old and in kindergarten, and that goes up to 2nd grade. They do projects. We do interview them at the fair. They do get into the fair for free, and they are a part of a club, and they do have to meet their club requirements. An eligibility for a 4-H member to be able to show an exhibit at our fair, they have to be either in 3rd grade and 8 years old or 9 years old at any grade. And they'll be able to show it at our fair, and that goes up to age 19 as of January 1st. The first thing they have to do is that they have to find a club, and our brochure is on the cover of our brochure is on the screen right now, and those are some of our 4-H scholarship winners there in the middle. The little young lady that's on the front cover of ours is one of our cooking exhibitors, and she does nutrition projects. And then we also have the kids that are talking about STEM and how to be a leader and all the different projects that we have, because as you know, 4-H is not just market animals and animal projects. It's so many more things than that.
Over 300 project choices, am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. In our family guide, we have a ton of different choices, from anything from robotics to cooking to sewing, and of course all of our animal projects as well. I think this year we're even going to have turkeys as a project.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, this will be my first year as an educator having turkeys. The other thing is that there's a listing of our different 4-H clubs that we have, and we have over 35 4-H clubs across the county. And here on in the insert of our brochure, it has a listing of all the clubs, and it also corresponds with the map of our county. And on that map, it shows has numbers on it, and they correspond with the clubs. It also has the contact club leader. So if a child or a youth wants to join 4-H, the first thing they need to do is contact one of those leaders in one of those clubs in order to become a member of their club. Now, that being said, once again, I want to tell you that our enrollment deadline is March 15th. So if they don't join a club before March 15th, they will not be able to enroll this year.
So just so I've got this right, so they need to be part of a club either by contacting a new club if they're new, or reconnect with their last year's club, and enroll, which means to do paperwork. Is that what it means?
Yes. So what they have, if you were a member last year, you do a re-enrollment form, and you just change and you add your projects that you want to do this year. If you are a new member, then you fill out a new form and put all your contact information down. And part of that is also signing a standards of behavior and a code of conduct. 4-H is the largest youth organization, and it abides by a very strict code of conduct of how you're supposed to act and represent not just yourself, but your family, and as 4-H says, your country and your world, your county, your country, and your world. So we want to make sure that we have the best of the best, and it's always to make the best better.
So by March 15th, they need to join or identify and enroll in a club, which
Yes.
also means they choose the projects they're going to take?
Yes, they have to have their projects chosen. However, if they decide after they get their enrollment papers in that they want to add a project to it, they have until April 12th to do that, because that's when the verification packets are due. So if they make a mistake, it goes back to their club. They get to look at what they enrolled in, and they can change that up to April 12th, as long as they contact us.
Yeah, and with so many to choose from, someone might have changed their mind or decided differently, but they have that window of time, but they just need to have the initial enrollment completed and turned in by March 15th.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out that on our website, which is pike.osu.edu, that you can find a list of all the club requirements. You can find our brochure. You can find information about enrollment. Once you join a club, what you have to do, though, is you have to attend 5 of the meetings, of the organized club meetings. All clubs follow parliamentary procedure, which is a learning process too, and they have to attend 5 of those organized meetings, participate in a community service project.
How often would you say those meetings are held, club meetings?
Usually monthly. Most of the clubs have already met at least once or twice before enrollment. They have to fill out their enrollment packets, so they'll meet before then. So it's very important to get that done. Some clubs meet 2 or 3 times a month. As it gets closer to fair time and things have to be due, then they meet more often. But they have to attend at least 5 meetings before July 15th.
Which is easy to do, I'm sure, once it gets closer to actual fair time where they're meeting more regularly. And
Oh, absolutely. I know that my children's club, that they have already met 3 times.
Wow.
And not all the kids were able to come to every one of them, but they'll still have several meetings before, I would say probably another 10 meetings before July 15th.
Okay. So after they enroll and they join a club and they're attending meetings, what other ways are they able to be updated and find out information throughout the year?
We have a Facebook page. Our Facebook page, it's Pike County 4-H Facebook page. We put everything on our Facebook page. We put all of our announcements on there, when things are due, what upcoming events are happening. We also have, like I said, our website, pike.osu.edu. Our website has so much information, and you can download almost any form that you need. If you have lost your registration form, you can download a registration form. All of our camp information is on there. You just go to the 4-H Youth Development tab, and they're all listed on the right-hand or the left-hand side of the page. We also send out lots and lots of emails. We send them for project-specific emails. So for example, if you're taking a horse, we sort through the kids that are enrolled in the horse projects, and we send them the information about the horse events that are happening. So we try hard to communicate very well with everyone. It's very important that you check your emails, though.
Well, it's a great, quick way to get a lot of information out to a lot of people so that everyone is aware of, because there's lots of deadlines and timelines with 4-H, isn't there?
There are a lot of deadlines and timelines. Some are set by the state, some are set by the county. I wanted to move on and talk about our project requirement changes that we had this year too. One of our big one is our steer weight. Market steer animals, they are now have to be 1,050 pounds at fair time. So at fair weigh-in, they went from 1,000 pounds up to 1,050 pounds. They changed that due to the regulations that the producers want. They want those larger beef carcasses in order that they don't have to feed out the beef and make them heavier. So that is a big one. I know 50 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to make weight, it is a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing is that we changed the grooming rule. And when I say a grooming rule, people are like, what? What do you mean a grooming rule? Is that me? Yeah, well, it's not a personal grooming rule. It is an animal grooming rule. Before, the grooming rule stated that you had to be a family member of the immediate family member of the exhibitor in order to help them groom their animal for their shows. We changed that because, as you know, 4-H is all about a learning process.
Absolutely.
And it's a hands-on learning process. And nowhere in it was that an advisor who is their club leaders, said that they could help them. And we took a look at that, the 4-H committee did, and we thought, you know, they're supposed to be their resource. They're supposed to be their go-to person that can help them. So we need to change that. So now it states that a family member or an advisor or another 4-H member, because it's kids helping kids, right?
So for example, if I took a rabbit, didn't really have much experience with it, maybe my family doesn't, but I'm joining a club that there are lots of other 4-H members and adults that have experience with rabbits, then they could help with my animal when it comes to grooming?
Yes, they can, absolutely. And when you say a rabbit, there are things that you can do. They clip toenails. So that's part of the grooming process, is clipping toenails or cleaning out ears. And if a kid is unexperienced and it's their first year and they're trying to flip a rabbit over and they don't know how to do it, it is so much better and safer for an adult or someone who has experience, another 4-H'er, to show that child how to do it and to do it for them so that they don't hurt the animal, they don't hurt themselves. Rabbit scratches can be very dangerous. They can hurt pretty good. So the one thing that has to happen is that the youth has to be present in a learning situation. It can't just be, okay, well, mom and dad can do it for me and I can go play my PlayStation instead of taking care of my animal. So that was one of our big changes, was the grooming rule. The second change was the housing rule. And again, you're like, housing what? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So a housing rule is housing your animal. So we had a rule that said that you could not house your animal on another person's property unless you didn't have a suitable place to keep your animal. Well, we have a lot more kids that are live in city areas where they want to experience 4-H. They want to experience taking animals, but they have no place to keep them. For example, you know, we have kids that live in the city of Waverly. The city of Waverly will not necessarily let you keep a pig in your backyard. You'll get complaints and they have no farm animals. But if you have a relative or if you have a friend, you can keep your animal at their house as long as it's within the county and as long as you're still responsible for taking care of that animal. So that was one of the changes that we made too. It was you did have to turn in a housing form. Now you only have to turn in a housing form if you're housing the animal outside of your residence, outside of Pike County.
Okay. Are there deadlines for these notifications to be made, or?
Yes. The deadline for a housing rule for the steer one's already passed, needless to say, because steer weigh-in was in December 16th. But the housing rule for the rest of the animals is April 12th. Okay. So but it's only if it's residing outside of our county.
Okay.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about were our QA clinics and our QA eligibility.
What's QA, Kristen?
Oh, QA is quality assurance, and quality assurance is set by the Ohio Department of Agriculture, and it basically teaches youth about how to properly care for their animals, how to properly administrate antibiotics or drugs to their animals, withdrawal times. And why are those so important? Because you cannot have, if your pig gets sick and you need to give him penicillin or some type of antibiotic, you know, you want to make sure you take care of your animals, and you don't want them to be sick just like us. You know, we don't want to stay sick. Your animal doesn't need to be sick either. So we want to administer the medication, but we need the exhibitor and the youth needs to be aware of those withdrawal times and how long it takes for that medication to get out of that animal's system, because it cannot go to be processed without it being in there. Is what I say is penicillin is a very widely used antibiotic. I'm allergic to penicillin. I will break out in hives that you never want to see. And if I would eat an animal that has penicillin in it, I can potentially get sick from that. And so it's very important that youth understand these withdrawal times, that they know what they're supposed to be putting down on their forms. They know when the medicine is out of the animal system.
So any 4-H member taking livestock,
A market animal
has to attend a quality assurance session?
Yes, they do, and that is set by the Ohio Department of Agriculture. And last year they changed the requirements on that. It used to be, it was before the fair and the county made a deadline. Now they have changed it to agriculture says that anybody that's exhibiting an animal at your fair, you have to complete quality assurance 45 days before the animal arrives at the fairgrounds. Now for us, for our county fair, that date is June 12th this year. If you are exhibiting at the state fair, it has to be 45 days before the state fair, before they arrive at the state fair. And so that date may be earlier if you're exhibiting at state fair. So quality assurance is a very important aspect you cannot show, set by the state law, if you do not complete your quality assurance.
So for Pike County, are those dates for quality assurance set at this time?
Yes, they are. And our first one, well, we had a hog, we've had a beef one after the beef weigh-in, and we had a hog-specific one on February 9th. And our next one for clinic-specific is the goat and the sheep clinic, and we'll have quality assurance at 10 o'clock. And then they're going to break up, and we have special clinicians, Brian Hazelbaker from Adams County, to do the goat clinic, and he's going to talk about selection, care, nutrition, and how to make sure you're getting the most out of your animal, and you're following the proper nutritional guidelines, because as we know, animals need different things at different ages in their life, just like children do. And then we have Lydia Ulrey from Fayette County, who's going to do our sheep clinic, and those will follow our QA clinic at 10 o'clock, and so the clinic will probably start around 11. Anybody is welcome to attend these clinics. They do not have to be from Pike County. Anybody that wants to come, they can attend the clinics, and they can get QA credit. We'll send it to their home county, and they will learn a lot of information. These are very good clinicians, and they donate their time just to help the kids out. So what great people, right?
That's great. So you mentioned you had already had a beef and a swine clinic. So say a child decides they're going to take a swine project and get it in by enrollment deadline. Are there other opportunities or other counties they can attend quality assurance in?
Absolutely. So I have another list of the different dates. Here they are up on the screen. So you do not have to attend the clinic. You do not have to attend a clinic that you take your animal. And we encourage you to go to the other clinics as well if you want to learn about other animals and how to take care of them and how to show them. Because 4-H is an encompass of everything. And the more you learn, the more that you'll get out of the program. So we also have a rabbit and a poultry clinic, and they are both on April 9th here at our fairgrounds. And we share this with Scioto County. So this is their clinic too. We just have it at our fairgrounds. And the rabbit clinic will be in the multipurpose building, and the poultry clinic will be in the art hall. Then on the 4th of May, after our large animal tag-in, which is our hog, lamb, and goat tag-in, we will have a QA after that. There just won't be a clinic portion of it. And then we also have a general livestock clinic on June 10th, and that's kind of like a last opportunity clinic because we're due on the 12th. So that would be the last one you could get before we go. The other one for horses, if you're a first-year horse exhibitor, you have to do a safety and ethics clinic. It's kind of like the equivalent to your QA clinic for market animals, and that'll be on May 18th, and then that will be followed by a horse clinic with Kay Tracy, who will be our judge for this year. So there's lots of opportunities, and we are going to have additional clinics, but they won't have QA after the 10th.
But the QA part's the requirement, not necessarily the clinic. The clinic is to help the 4-H'er become more familiar and aware and ask questions?
Absolutely. To ask questions, to know what they are looking for in a market animal, to know what the judge is looking for. We're going to have showmanship clinics, which is how to show your animal off to the judge. We're going to have those with goats and with sheep and with hogs. We're really trying to push the learning aspect to these kids and to help them them get the most out of their projects.
And so 4-H members, when they attend meetings, they're able to get this information from their advisors so that they are in tune with all of these dates?
Absolutely. And like I said, you can also check our website. They're on our website, pike.osu.edu. Check our Facebook page, Pike County 4-H Facebook. And we send out emails and mailings to everyone, and they'll be included with the registration forms. So, and you can always call us at the office, 740-289-4837, and push extension 3, and we will always be able to help you find those dates as well.
Well, I love hearing all of this because I know there are lots of kids out there who maybe their parents don't have 4-H experience, but they are really interested in it. But it sounds to me like, just like you were mentioning about all of the volunteers, and it takes lots of volunteers to make this happen. But we do have lots of volunteers and people in our county who have expertise in these areas who are willing to help children that are new to 4-H, who are just getting started. So getting involved, and it sounds to me like lots of opportunities for them to learn in these learning experiences as well as taking their project.
Yes, and I did want to mention with our FCS committee that we have some great new volunteers on our FCS committee that if your child's interested in sewing or nutrition projects, they are willing to work with them and teach them the basics of it and help them to be able to develop their projects. I'm really excited to watch those programs grow.
So when she talks about our FCS committee, these are projects which would be considered nutrition or cooking, as well as sewing and clothing, as well as still projects such as rockets. You mentioned robotics earlier, woodworking, scrapbooking, photography, cake decorating. It goes on and on and on. But in a future segment of our update, we will offer those dates because we have the same types of clinics for 4-H members who are taking any of those types of projects, nutrition, clothing, or still. So we will offer clinics. They don't really have QA that is involved with them in the same way, but we will offer clinics to help new, not just new 4-H members, but maybe new to those project areas to help them prepare for judging and know what to expect. And part of that is our committee and a lot of the older 4-Hers who have more experience, or veteran 4-Hers, as well as adults, volunteer their time to kind of help these kids come along with that.
Well, and like you said, they don't have to necessarily be a new one. I know that my daughter switched from sewing to nutrition, and she knew basically nothing about nutrition, even though she was an older 4-Her, and the clinics really helped her to know what the requirements were and what she needed to do to prepare for the judging.
Great. So those will be coming in a future update. We'll provide that information as well to all 4-H members.
Well, Tammy, thank you for talking with me, and I would like to ask you some questions on what you have coming up.
Great. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight. Coming up on March the 20th, I have a program that's offered at the Waverly Library, the Garnet Wilson Library. The topic for March is going to be coupon cutting and digital savings. So this will be an opportunity for me to share resources that I've found and used, in addition to participants' resources, because I always learn from every program I do, especially at the library. A wide variety of people from different backgrounds come with different knowledge levels and information, and we share those and we all learn from those. So during this session, we're going to obviously be talking about typical paper couponing and ways to do that. But in addition to that, lots of online resources as well as apps, ways to save money, rewards, ways to get money back for that. So I'm hoping to have a lot of people interested in that. And that's going to be on March the 20th at the Waverly Library at 1 p.m. And I do a monthly segment there. So each month the topic changes. So if you're interested in that or know someone that, maybe even someone that does couponing a lot and want to share their information, we encourage you to come out. It doesn't mean you necessarily have no information to provide, but we like to share information and use that going forward to help individuals in the county and surrounding counties.
Well, I know that I love to save $1 or $2 on my coupons. I mean, I get really excited when I can read the register slip and it'll say, hey, you saved $86 or $15 or even $3.
Absolutely, and there is an amazing amount of reward programs that are available using your smartphone or computer. I literally have received hundreds of dollars in gift cards back for things that I already purchased are being rewarded for things that I've already purchased. So it's a great feeling to know that you're saving and then getting rewarded.
Absolutely.
So in addition to that program that I'll be offering, coming up in April, actually beginning April 1st, I will be offering a 6-week cooking class called Cooking Matters. This is being sponsored by Adena Health System. So in order to register for this program, you must be a patient of Adena at one of their locations. It could be within our county or surrounding county. In order to get registered, you need to contact our office at 740-289-4837, extension 3, and provide us your name, address, contact info, as well as your physician or nurse practitioner at Adena, and we can get you signed up for this. And it is a free class for Adena patients. So if you or someone you know qualifies, give us a call and let us know that you're interested, and I'll get you signed up. The enrollment is limited to 20, so as soon as we reach 20, we'll have to cap it off. But as in the past, we've had waiting lists, so there's always an option for that, and those people get the first opportunity at the next class. So that is starting on April 1st, and that will be Monday evenings at the First Baptist Church in Waverly. And we thank them for being our host for these programs. They have very nice facilities, and they're very willing to support this. And we thank Adena Health System for providing the food and the materials for the participants for this 6-week class.
What a great opportunity for everyone.
It is. It's a great class. It has nutrition education, cooking education. Participants actually cook a meal and eat together, and then the last thing they get to do is take home groceries and ingredients to prepare one of the recipes with their family that week, and then come back and we share and talk about that the following week.
So are they usually like mother-daughter, husband-wife?
We have had entire families come.
Oh, wow.
We have had mother-daughter. We've had husband and wives. We've had wives came trying to maybe learn some new techniques for maybe a recently diagnosed spouse that is a diabetic or has a heart condition. So it's a wide variety, but anyone's welcome. The only requirement is that you need to be a patient of Adena.
That sounds like a wonderful program.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and participants are always learning new things and sharing things, and it's always exciting to see those experiences and experience them with them.
Oh, wow.
So kind of wraps up things for this month, but we thank you for joining us, and we look forward to providing you with next month's Pike County News Update.
Absolutely, and everybody have a wonderful day.
Thanks.